happy holidays. It's almost Turkey Day. Make sure you go and grab that gobbler before they're all gone. I myself got a 17-pound turkey that'll take about 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator to fully thaw. After that, I'm going to brine it, and then I'm going to smoke it on my smoker. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm sitting at my computer, and I'm actually going through some old hard drives and finding all this recorded material from over the years. And I came across a radio interview with Joel Kachel and myself. I think it might be around, well, I think we might actually mention when the date actually was, but it's kind of fun to listen to. So I'm just going to, I think, include some of this in the podcast before we have our first guest today. So thanks for chiming in.
The New Light 105.7. Good morning. Justin McDonald here as we get waking up this morning. Big events coming up. We've had some great musicians in the studio. We also are going to be giving away some instruments, from what I understand. We haven't quite gotten to that.
Oh, yeah?
We've been sitting here having a little pre-interview, and we didn't quite get to that part yet. But with me in the studio, Chris Snyder and Joel Kachel. Did I say that right? Just like Rachel, but Kachel.
Kachel like Rachel with K.
And you're with Third Wheel Project, and you guys are going to be headlining an event that's going on, I believe, this weekend at the Denina Center, Oxygen and Octane. Just tell us a little bit about yourselves. Joel, you're from down south. You're from Minnesota.
I'm from the great state of Minnesota. I'm just here representing, I think AK is a beautiful state. I've been up here once before, actually. Got tied in with Third Wheel Project with Chris. My brother and his wife were at Elmendorf. So, Chris used to walk around with his little ukuleles selling cars, and my brother's like, dude, you guys gotta meet, because you guys would get along, and here I am, and as soon as I get back, I'm back in Minnesota on the 10th, and I head down to Nashville for a couple weeks.
Wow.
I'm just playing some shows, and
Music City.
Just taking some time off from my daytime job and making this my nighttime job,
Yeah, gotcha. Now, Chris, you're an Alaska guy?
I am from Alaska. I grew up in Eagle River. I was born down in Texas and moved up here when I was about 3 years old and never left except to travel. And Third Wheel Project, I started about 2.5 years ago with my trumpet player, Andy Benton, in another buddy, his garage. And immediately we started getting paid gigs and started getting other musicians out. And pretty soon it turned into this catalyst for recording music and just helping musicians get on stage and perform in front of a large audience.
Support the local scene.
Support it. We fully support it.
Tell us about this event that's going on this weekend.
Well, you can check it out at thirdwheelproject.com. There's a link to the flyer, and you can find us on Facebook. But this weekend we're doing the Oxygen and Octane Expo. We're headlining. It's not particularly one artist that's headlining. There's a whole group of us. Thirdwheelproject.com has those artists on it, and it's pretty fun. We're playing all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday might be a really good day to catch us because we do about 4 or 5 sets.
Wow.
And I'm taking off on Saturday. My after the show, my flight leaves at about midnight, so we got to take off and get me back home.
There you go. So. Well, I hope you have a good time in Alaska.
Yeah,
it's Oxygen and Octane going on this weekend. ThirdWheelProject.com. Check that out. Chris Snyder, Joel Kachel. Thanks for being in the studio with us on Light 105.7.
Thank you, sir.
All right. How cool is that? Just to be able to go back in time, and it's like a modern day Dear Diary. Dear Diary, what was I doing back in 2011? And just makes for great memories. Speaking of memories, this song right here was recorded in my studio in New Richmond, Wisconsin in April of 2019. And this is Messenger Mike Kimmel. I helped him put together some recordings. I captured some live shows for him, and then we did a little studio work. And this is one of his compositions. I never ended up laying piano to it, but it's really fun to listen to. I was scratching my head. What song is this? I know this song. It's called Cold Wind, and you can check Messenger Mike out at $2 Tight. Find him on one of the social medias. Great musician. Just because it's cold outside doesn't mean we shouldn't be out in the sunshine getting that vitamin D, so be sure to do that. The ice, it's coming, and tomorrow morning I'm going to go check it out with a friend for an early pike bite and maybe get some fish to pickle. This time of year, the ice is thin. You definitely got to be careful. I recently got myself a floating setup with my bibs and my jacket in case I happen to go through the ice. But anyhow, I trust my buddy that's taken me. This is all new to me. Up next on the podcast, we have Michael. He is a boat captain, just got his captain's license, and he's going to be running charters out of Naples, Florida. He is 19 years old, and I am so excited to follow him on the rest of his journey because, as you know, I love fishing. So let's get him on right now. That's good. We got Michael on the podcast today.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
It's good to be here.
You're like going to be the world's youngest captain.
Maybe. At least in Naples, because it's notorious for a little bit older population.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
So just a couple of weeks ago, I went to the captain's school, and it took about 11 days, and pretty good time commitment, but I passed my test, and then, I got a bunch of different paperwork I got to pass on to the Coast Guard, and then about 4 to 6 weeks after that, I'll get, my official captain's license, so I can be for hire and be legit, running charters.
Awesome. So what are you going to start as? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to target fish? Are you going to take people on?
Yeah. So what I'm going to be is a for hire boat, and it's specifically fishing. I'm going to be running anywhere from 10 miles to 40 miles offshore in search of various fish. In the Gulf Coast, what's really big is grouper fishing and snapper fishing. That's probably the most I can do. Kind of looking, I'm a little limited because I have a 24-foot center console that I'm going to be starting off on. So, comfortably, I can go offshore, but, with clients in the boat, it's kind of limited because you have to worry more about their comfort compared to mine, because I'm crazy. I can go 50 miles offshore and I'll have no problem. But with, clients on that size boat, it's a little different. So you have to kind of put in their perspective. You want them to be most comfortable.
Yeah, that's a center console. That's a cool boat. That's like what the DNR uses, right?
Yeah, so, we're in Minnesota. That's not as common here. But in Naples, that's kind of like the go-to fishing style boat. You get center consoles, and then, that's what most charters are running out of, and, most people fishing there. You get the deep V, and you can handle rough water and stuff, So
have you fished a lot of Florida fish in your life?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Since I was real young, we've always been going down to Florida and Naples specifically. So
we should talk about that. I want to hear all about the fish.
I've been fishing out in Naples since I was probably 3 years old. So I've just almost all my life, I know those waters really well. So that's kind of why I want to stay in Naples to run charters, because I'm just so familiar with, I have so much past knowledge and spots. And
it's hard to go to a new spot and know where the fish are hanging out.
Well, even for me jumping from the West Coast to the East Coast of Florida, it's a whole new world. Like, you got to start from the beginning. The fish are different. You could be going after the same fish, and you have to do things 10 times different than, going for that same fish on the West Coast. So it's a completely different world. Depends on the water you're in.
Yeah, it's actually like that from this area down to the Ozarks. Like the Ozark fishing is different. It's pretty similar. It's not as drastic as, say, like growing up in Alaska and chasing salmon with a fly rod to come in here, and there's huge muskie, northern, and walleye. Like, you can't grab them in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I had to relearn everything pretty much.
Learn the hard way, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was bleeding and stuff. But so the grouper, what's that? What's a grouper?
So there's a few different types of grouper. There's a Goliath grouper. That's the biggest in the family. They can get up to 600 pounds. They could fit you in their mouth. They're so big. And then the what we go after mostly is red grouper and gag grouper. They're a little bit smaller.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a grouper?
There. That's a Goliath grouper. Or you call them a Jewfish too.
Whoa.
So they can get up to, they're like little school buses. They can get up to 600 pounds. It's just beasts.
I mean, it looks almost like a bass.
They've been endangered for a long time. So, they're completely protected. You got to keep them in the water when you catch them and whatever. But they're just recently talking about lifting that so that's a gag grouper right there. And
they look like bass, don't they?
A little bit. They got the big mouth, kind of, too big for the body almost. And
oh my God, look at that tongue.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so grouper, how do you catch them? Are you like on the bottom with J hooks?
Yeah. Oh, well, so kind of, you're on the bottom. You got to be as close to the bottom because what they do, the grouper hide in holes. So basically, when we're out there, we have a little circle hook and we catch these thread fins, which is a bait, and they're about 6-7 inches long. So they're a big bait. We have a long leader, and we drop down straight to the bottom. And what happens is a grouper, since they live in these holes, they'll come out, eat it, and immediately they fight as hard as they can to go straight back into that hole. So that first 15 seconds of hooking a grouper is like, it feels like you're hooking into a car that's trying to run away, and like that's all you're trying to do is just not let him go. Because once he's back in his hole, they flare out their gills.
You're not getting him out.
And it wedges their head into the rock, so you can't get him out unless you get lucky and let him kind of do his thing, and he'll swim out by himself. But so the first few seconds with grouper is pretty intense. You got to pull them off the bottom as fast as you can. And then once you do get them off the bottom, some of these spots that go out like 25 miles, you have the Goliath grouper. So you could catch a little gag grouper, but then you have a 600 Goliath grouper trying to eat that on the way up. So you're trying to get the fish out of the rocks, trying to get it up fast enough so a 600-pound Goliath grouper doesn't eat it. Then once you get to the top, you're hoping that, the barracudas swimming around don't bite your fish in half.
Yep.
So you have 3 different things trying to take your fish away from you as you're trying to get it. It's kind of chaotic, but that's what makes it so much fun.
About how deep are you finding the grouper? Does it range?
It ranges. So, if we're going about 25 miles offshore, it'd be 55 feet of water. Because, the Gulf Coast is real flat. You could go 40 miles offshore and you're not going to be in that deep. Compared to the East Coast, you can go 3 miles offshore and you're hundreds of feet of water. Because you got that ledge over on the Atlantic, and then the Gulf Coast is a little flat, but grouper fishing is a lot better on the West Coast, kind of because of that.
Cool. And then, so you target grouper, and then the other fish was a snapper?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Lots of different types of snapper. We get snapper, cobias, a lot of, really it's kind of, you can catch anything, but, we do go out there and try to catch specific fish.
That's awesome. So are you allowed to catch live bait then, or use that?
Yeah. So live bait's kind of the most important part of the day, because if you don't have bait, it's not even worth going offshore because you're just not going to catch anything. So sometimes you spend half your day just trying to get the bait you need, and then you go out. So we use things called sabikis. It's like a bunch of little tiny hooks, kind of, 6 or 7 of them. And you drop that down, the little baits will eat those.
Check out that. Have you been to Alaska yet to fish?
No. I have a buddy who lives in Alaska, though.
You need to go there.
I've always wanted to go do, like, halibut fishing.
Yeah. That's that when you describe the grouper, it kind of reminds me of it. I mean, you're in several hundred feet of water. So it's a pain. When just to even check your bait, it's a pain.
Yeah.
Because you're not using it like one of those, I'm sure, an automatic reel.
Yeah, they
really great.
Reels.
That would be great when you're halibut fishing, because it's tough.
Deep water, heavyweight. And
yeah, and a 60-pounder feels like a 200-pound fish.
Yeah.
So I've never caught a 200-pound halibut, but
you can imagine.
Hours.
Yeah.
It takes hours. You have to have a friend to help you, because otherwise you just
and I hear when they get to the boat, they kind of have a last kind of freak out. Where they either pop them in the head with, they shoot them right in the head.
Yeah. I mean, there's stories of people getting either knocked out in their boat by a big halibut that they bring in it.
Yeah.
Or getting tossed off overboard, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
You don't want to fall in the water up there. It's
really cold water.
No joke.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So have you gotten into any type of like top water fishing?
Oh yeah.
What's that like there?
So it's kind of different. If I use top water, it's probably inshore. So the inshore fish are like snook, and I know you mentioned you went on a charter and fish for trout, right?
Yeah.
So they'll eat top water, different little backwater fish. But then, sometimes it's cool if you get these real big poppers, like 10-inch poppers, and you go 30 miles offshore. The right time of the year, you'll get the kingfish, the king mackerel. And when they come up and hit it, they come out full speed. So they'll come hit the top water, and then they'll keep going like 10 feet out of the water.
Oh,
you'll
wow.
You'll just see this torpedo shoot out with your top water in its mouth. It's ridiculous.
What I want to look at that fish. What's that called again?
It's just there's like kingfish.
Kingfish.
King mackerel. Same thing. Yeah, they get considerably big too.
Now, as far as it kind of looks like a pike a little bit, huh?
A little bit. They got some crazy teeth on them.
Little
razor
missile.
blades.
Yeah. Wow. What a cool fish. What are the fish that you're gonna target to bring back and eat or send with your clients?
Yeah, so the fish I'm going to be targeting are just mainly grouper and snapper. Those are like your really table fare type fish, you know.
Oh, so you eat those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're top class eating fish. You know, that's what all the restaurants hold is grouper, snapper. But, you know, interestingly enough, there's this permit. So starting off, I can go up to 10 miles offshore. And, you know, I have a lot of good numbers and spots to fish that are close to shore. It seems like, you know, as the years go on, people are having to go further and further offshore, especially in Naples, just to get some quality fish. And that's just kind of the way it's been. You know, 10 years ago, you could go a couple miles off and, you know, really good quality fish. And now it's harder to find. You know, luckily enough, I found some good close ones. But that 10-mile and in thing, you have to have it's called a Gulf Reef permit. And that allows you to keep, you know, fish like grouper, snapper, different type of fish kept on the bottom. You have to have that to go over 9 miles offshore and keep them since I'm a for-hire vessel. So starting off, until I get that permit, I have to grouper snapper fish inside 9 miles.
I see.
Yeah, and then when I get that, I can go way, way further offshore, unless it's kind of a deal where, you know, you have a family friend or something, and, you know, I'm just taking them out for fun. I can take them wherever I want, but
Right.
yeah.
So do you have a name for your business yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm still kind of in the startup, but I'm just getting my
Awesome.
license, getting official, and then, you know, I got to sign from LLC, and then we'll get all the ducks in line.
Do you know what your boat's name is?
My boat's name?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 24-foot Laguna, and you know I don't have it named officially, but sometimes I like to call it Laguna Matata instead of Laguna Matata.
Yeah, that's great.
So Laguna Matata.
Laguna
We'll go
Matata.
with that, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, we'll have to follow up sometime. Like, we can do this over the phone. Like, you
Yeah.
could call in and just be like, Snyder, I just got the hugest grouper in my life.
Yeah,
And you got to send pictures, though.
of course.
Yeah.
I have quite a few pictures actually from this last time I went out. If you want to see them,
Yeah.
here's.
I love fish pictures so much. Like, they're so fun to look at.
Here you go. So this is the last time I went with some work buddies. So that fish I'm holding is a big cobia, and then, you know, kind of the red ones are mangrove snapper, and then some big gag grouper on the sides as well.
Wow, that's so cool.
And those are all just
Looks like a shark.
top eating. I know they're kind of an ugly looking fish, but the top quality eating. They're kind of like steaks. They're awesome.
Is there bass fishing close to you?
Oh, bass fishing is ridiculous in Florida.
Really?
You know, I live in a neighborhood where it's got all these, you know, kind of secluded ponds and private ponds, and so there's just bass that are just untouched, and they go crazy. You know, I've caught bass over 10 pounds.
Wow.
Consistently down there, just on
I
swim
want to do
baits.
that.
And the cool thing is, while you're bass fishing these ponds, since we're so close to the ocean, to the Gulf, that, you know, they can find ways. You know, the ponds are all connected. They all lead to the water, to the ocean. So snook and tarpon will come into the ponds, and you'll have these 150-pound tarpon that you can hook into while you're just trying to catch a 5-pound bass.
Wow.
So it's, you know, all types of crazy stuff going on.
Well, you could potentially like go up and do some captaining in the summertime in Alaska if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Someday, right?
Yeah.
Can you take that license, that captain's license, anywhere?
No, I'm in Florida right now.
Okay, so it's state by state.
I think it's state by state, correct?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder why that is. Because isn't it water?
Yeah, it's water, but it also, you know, you have state waters. And,
Oh, okay.
you know, kind of different rules and regulations that
Yeah.
each state has.
There's not like a universal to where, like maybe when you get that certification that allows you to go past 9 miles.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would make it easier to translate into
Yeah, I don't-
fishing Oregon or.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that, so I don't want you to quote me on that, but
Yeah.
it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get you to move to Alaska, but you're young enough.
I do
you
wanna
should go
visit
up there
Alaska.
And you should go up and captain a summer in Homer, Alaska.
I would like to experience that. I have friends who are from Juneau, so
Yeah, there's just so many beautiful big fish, and
yeah,
the salmon runs. It's just you get tired of catching salmon.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, but awesome. Well, thanks for coming on today, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody say goodbye to Michael. If you're down in Naples, Florida, he's going to be having his own charter business. So let's go fishing with him.
Yeah,
I've got a drone. I could come out sometime and get some really cool shots.
that would be awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I would love to film some videos.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for a warm place to go in the wintertime. All right. We're out of here.
All right.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I know it's a little bit shorter than some of the past ones, but holidays are coming and the time is flying. So make the best of 2021. Be a positive influence. Take the time to listen. Mark on your calendar, December 18th at Ziggy's in Stillwater. There's a Big Ugly Sweater Christmas party, and my band is playing. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with this song. It's one that I wrote one holiday season when I was deeply missing my little brother. It's going to be on an upcoming album that I'm going to title Archives, because I got a bunch of his music floating around, and I'm just going to release it. I'm not going to remix it, re-edit it. It is where it stands and how it was created. So you guys have a good day. Thanks for listening to the Snyder and Friends podcast.
To let go of a friend is never easy. To say goodbye to those times, you know. And all our souls will seek the safety of their maker. Let them go, send them on home. But hold on, 'cause this storm you tell yourself will be over soon. It's never true, 'cause these waves are making it awfully hard to breathe. You find a hand, one you call friend, to catch you when you feel you're drowning. These tears will never end, 'cause these years all come to end. And these tears, they will never end, 'cause all years, they come to end. And all the rivers turn to oceans. Find the rhythm with the moon by her flow. If Father Sun comes along, just shining, bringing all the little teardrops back home. This storm you tell yourself will be over soon. It's never true, 'cause these waves are making it awfully hard to breathe. You find a hand, one you call friend, to catch you when you feel you're drowning. 'Cause these tears will never end, 'cause all years they come to end. And these tears will never end, 'cause all years they come to end. And these tears feel like they'll never end. It's 'cause these years, they all come to end. And these tears, well, they never end.